This is the Louie T Network.
See, first come the preseason, and I don't take a day off. And then my team was 6-10, and we ain't smell the playoffs. Yeah, I seen the Super Bowl, but I heard they just play balls. A lot of teams had injuries. Sam Bradford had to take off. Go hard in the offseason, but you don't know the half. Before you know, we gon' look up, and we ready for the draft. They dressed up in that suit top, and I don't know how to act. They waiting, so patient, so they can put on that hat. Who else could it be? But your man Luke. Okay, so when she asks you where you was at, you tell her you in the lab room. Who else could it be? Who? But your man Luke. Okay, so when she asks where you was at, you can tell her you was in the lab room. Yeah.
Could it be? Me, your man, Louie T. Welcome. You are in the lab room. Of course, I am your host, Luke. Thank you for joining me. A little new format here. Going to break down all of the games in the National Football League's Week 1. And I'm going to call it the Hurry Up Offense. That's right. I'm going to hurry up and try to get through these games as fast as I can. Give you some bullet points from these games and then move on to the next week of football. So this is going to be quick. As I say when I'm breaking down my Soul Survivor, it's going to be fast-paced. It's going to be in your face. It's going to be the Hurry Up Offense. You ready? Let's jump into Week 1 of the National Football League. Dolphins at Washington. Not going to break that down. Of course, me being a Redskins fan, I already gave you a 5-minute snippet in the Redskins Rapid React. Also, on the site, there's a full breakdown of the game, and there's going to be a Redskins report forthcoming. So, not going to do that here. Going to move on to the Chiefs at the Texans. Travis Kelce, awesome sauce. That guy looks like a Rob Gronkowski broke down version. But damn it, I'll take that lemon any day, okay? Sign me up for some Travis Kelce action. He looks just like Rob Gronkowski, just not as dangerous like yet. He's on his way. That man was winding up, but punched the football 15 yards away. He was that wide open. He was a problem. If you had him in fantasy, you were smiling, grinning ear to ear. That man is a problem, and Alex Smith is going to continue to get him the football. Alex, speaking of Alex Smith, Captain Chapter! Boy, was he sharp. He was sharp. I touched him, and he cut my finger. He was sharp, boy. I said, man, you looked a little sketchy in the preseason. Alex said, but I looked good in that third preseason game, didn't I? I said, that you did. And Alex continued his play from that third preseason game versus Tennessee and carried it over to the Texans. And damn it, he had his team out to an early lead in this football game. Oh, that boy, on those returns, he always looks like he's one more block away from breaking it. He's a dangerous guy on special teams. Kept the Chiefs with some great field position all game long. He is so dangerous and so vital to what they do on special teams. I like him, and I like what he brings to the table. Gives them some more problems for you to have to deal with on the special team side of things. And he's going to break one here shortly. I hope it's not Denver in Week 2 on Thursday night, but it could be. That guy looks dangerous. And also the defense just looks phenomenal. But what do you expect? This is the Kansas City Chiefs. They hang their hat on the defensive side of the football. And it was really good to see guys like DJ and Eric Berry come back and play stellar football. DJ looks sharp. You don't know what I'm talking about? Derek Johnson hurt himself last year, missed most of the season. He came back and he looked outstanding. This defense was ferocious. They got after Billy Hogue, actually chased him from the game. Ryan Mallett ended up coming in, and it's good to see the young fellas like Marcus Peters get in there, get their feet wet, get an interception, help this team in their first NFL action. Chiefs look outstanding. You go to the Texans. Billy Ho is who we thought he was. Okay, Billy O, head coach Bill O'Brien, took Billy Ho, Brian Hoyer, out of the game. That's the quickest hook I've ever seen from a guy that was in the competition over the summer to win the job. We're talking about 3.5 quarters of football, essentially, and he got pulled. And I'm hearing birds chirping in my ear, chirp, 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 saying that in Week 2, Texans could be starting Ryan Mallett. In my notes, I wrote Ryan Mallett should be the starter. When he came in, that boy was throwing some darts. And I'm talking about easy gas. I'm talking about 99 mile an hour fastballs. Woo! But guess who was catching them? D-Hop. Speaking of D-Hop, I think when the one and only DRE left Houston, he passed D-Hop the juice, man. That young man has the juice in Houston. Throw it in his direction. He's coming down with the football. He's taking footballs away from guys in man-to-man coverage. He's snatching fastballs out of the air like it's nothing. I don't care where you throw it, he's gonna catch it. It reminds me of when he was dominant at Clemson. He looks the part, man. He's looking like he wants to ascend to the league's upper echelon at the receiving position. He is well on his way. That guy's a beast. Too many defensive breakdowns for a defense that I expect big things from. And again, when you got no Arian Foster and you got Billy Ho at quarterback, your defense better be ready to hold it down. Too many defensive breakdowns. Travis Kelce running free in your secondary. Just too many guys running free. Too many mistakes by the offense. Left you in some vulnerable positions. But I expect a Romeo Crennel defense to be better than what I saw from this Texans team. Way too talented on that side of the football for me to see the things that I saw in this game. Very disappointing with that Texans defense. Ryan Mallett should be the starter. I think he's going to be that guy. And I would love to see him start at home. Get his first start there, but doesn't matter. He started on the road last year at Cleveland and got the win. Maybe he can do the same for you in week 2 at Carolina. We shall see. But Chiefs get the win 27-20. Don't let the score fool you. This game was not that close. You go to the next game, Buffalo at home versus the Indianapolis Colts. That was one of my upset specials. People told me I was crazy for it. I told you, look out for these tricky Bills. But the Indianapolis Colts had to find out the hard way. O-line struggles for the Colts in this game. I said all offseason, get you some beef. That's what's for dinner. Go back and watch the videos, man. I told the Colts during the draft they needed to get some beef, and they went out and got a skill guy. Okay, speaking of which, he dropped and muffed a punt in this game, led to some Bills points. He didn't help you in this game. You needed offensive line help. I'm tired of seeing Andrew Luck running for his life. I'm tired of seeing him being forced through throws because he doesn't have the adequate pressure. I'm tired of this offensive line not being able to run block good enough to give Andrew Luck the support he needs from that facet of the offense. It's just a mess. Offensive line struggled in this game, but it's Buffalo. I get it. I understand. Receivers also struggled in this game. And is it me or does the one and only DRE look a little heavy to you? Maybe it's that Colts blue versus the Texans blue. But he looks like a tight end to me, and he's not catching the football. This started back in the preseason. I was a little nervous. I said, man, it's the one and only DRE. He gets a pass. He don't get a pass anymore. You got to catch the football, Dre. You got to catch the football. T.Y. goes down. He's going to be all right. That's a good sign for you because if he went down, you don't want to be relying on the young guys. You don't want to be relying on the one and only DRE. It could have got ugly, but all that being said, I still expect big things from this Colts football team. You're still going to win your division. It's okay, but I don't like the turmoil that's going on up top. You know what that reminds me of? Last year's San Francisco 49ers, where the owner, general manager, vice president, there's somebody up there in the high channels, in the upper channels, doesn't have the best of relationships with the head coach, and things start going awry. You saw what happened to that 49ers team. They went from a potential playoff team to an 8-8 ball club, and now Jim Harbaugh is coaching at Michigan. Let's not hope the same thing happens to this Colts team. I don't see that happening, but turmoil and toxic situations, they spread, and it only gets worse before it gets better. Let's hope that's not what this is. You need to get pressure on the quarterback. And that's the last thing I'm gonna say, and then we're gonna get out of here, go on to the Bills. You need to get pressure on the quarterback, man. And I'm not one to be relying on 34-year-old guys coming back off of major surgery. But Robert Mathis, you need that guy to come back and get pressure. Because Jonathan Newsom, to me, is the only other guy on that roster that can get pressure on the quarterback. You need to do something, and you need to do it fast. You have to start getting after the opposing team's quarterback. You didn't do it enough last year, and you don't have the horses to do it this year unless Robert Mathis comes back and is the man. You go on to the Buffalo Bills. Tyrod Taylor looked sharp in this game, and I said he was going to be the X factor, and he certainly was. Now, it's only one game, only one small sample size, but it looked damn good. Did it in this game, used his legs when he needed to, but that throw to Percival Harvin was the one that did it for me. You get a chance to hit the deep ball, you gotta hit the deep ball, and it was a beautiful deep ball to a streaking Percival Harvin. The defense dominant, that goes without saying. This defense was good before Rex got here. You knew Rex was only going to make it that much better. I love the Darby kid. He's coming in. I think Rex, he really loves this guy. And all I see him do is pick passes off. I remember he had 2 against Cleveland in the preseason, had another one in this game. This defense is going to wreak havoc. The X factor is the offense led by Tyrod Taylor. If he can continue to play good football, this could be a playoff team in 2015. You guys are too excited after this game, however, okay? I understand you beat a good Colts team. It's a new regime. It's a new day in Buffalo. I need you to scale back the excitement. You didn't just clinch a playoff ticket, okay? You didn't just clinch a berth to the Super Bowl. You just won 1 game. And if you're a Bills fan, you know this to be a fact. You started seasons 2, 3, 4, and 0. Hell, one of those years you even beat the Patriots in Buffalo. Everybody was throwing a damn parade and you end up not making the postseason. I need you to settle down. Everybody was a little too excited for me after this win against the Colts. And I need you to run the football a little bit more efficiently in the further games down the road than you did in this game. I didn't really like how well you ran the football. But again, you're not going to have all of these things happening at once and in one game. I want to see this running game mature, however, and get better as we continue to move on. Should I be worried? Samuel Watkins, 0 catches, 0 targets. I know he didn't play all preseason. I don't really want to make a big deal of this. Should I? Nah, I'm not going to. But I'm going to be clocking him next week. I'm damn sure going to be looking to see what he does next week. You bet your ass I will. I'm going to move on to the next game, though. Jags hosting the Panthers. This was my other upset special. For the Panthers' sake, didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, but I'm not mad at the Panthers for taking care of business on the road. Their wide receiver issues continue, though. I'm worried. If you need me, I'm here. I can suit up for you. I can catch the football. I know Cam throws a heavy-ass ball, but I can catch it, though. If you need me, call me. I can come out there for y'all, because it's bad. Can you be any more open than Ted Ginn Jr. was and drop the football for a touchdown? I mean, that's pathetic. If Cam threw another one, hit him off his shoulder, ricocheted in the air, you got lucky nobody was close enough to pick it off. That would took points off the board. Y'all gotta be better, man, at wide receiver. I'm gonna need punches to step up. I'm gonna need somebody. Old man Jericho can't do it by himself, and neither does Grego. Can't keep relying on Grego to bail you out. And he had a good game, but it wasn't a Greg O type game. That's why you only scored 20 points. You better be careful out there. You keep messing around. You're not gonna play Jacksonville every week. You better tighten up, have them receivers catch goddamn football. Jay Nutso is a beast, okay? For those of you who don't know who that is, Josh Norman. I ain't talking about fighting Cam. We passed that. This guy, I'm telling you right now, he is going to be, in about 2 years, one of the best corners in the league. I love this guy. He's feisty, and I love the fact that he picked Blake B off, and as he's going in for the touchdown, thanks, boy, I got you. I told you leave me the hell alone. I love that boy, Jay Nutso. And he's actually enrolled right now in the school of Peanut Tillman, okay? Because did you see that peanut punch he put on Allen Hurns and got that football out? Reached his hand in the cookie jar. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. And guess what he came out with? A cookie. He came out, yum, yum, eat him up. Yum, yum, eat him up. Came out with a cookie. That was a big turnover in that game after Paul Posluszny had picked off Cam and got them in some scoring position. That was a big play in the ball game. Jay Nutso is well on his way to becoming a big-time player in this league. Offensive line still working out some kinks, okay? And I thought Cam had a lot more pressure on him than I was comfortable with in this game. But that being said, I thought they still did a good enough job to give him the time to survey the field, find guys to throw the football to. And they opened up some holes for Jay Stu, who looked good in this game. That's not a surprise to you Carolina Panthers fans, though. Jay Stu looks good when he's healthy. Problem is he's not healthy enough. Let's hope he stays healthy because I don't like the rest of those running backs. Maybe Cameron Artis Payne can get something done, but I'm not a Fozzie Whitaker fan. I need Jay Stu to stay healthy for this football team to have this offense be as efficient as it can be. Outstanding drive to end the game. I thought the offense really took control of this game. At the end, game was still in the balance. You're up 8. If you get the ball back to the Jaguars, they have a chance to not only score a touchdown and get the 2-point conversion, but steal this game from you. Instead, you go on a marathon drive, pick up a couple of crucial third downs, extend the drive, and ultimately kick the game-clinching field goal, put it out of reach, and ate up just about all of the clock while doing so. About a good 8-minute drive. It was a thing of beauty. If you're the Panthers, that's exactly what you want to do moving forward. kill the clock. And I already said, if you've been following my podcast, and make sure you do that in the Lab Room podcast on iTunes, on Stitcher, and on my website. Check it out. But if you've been following the podcast, I told you that the Carolina Panthers are one of the 7 teams you don't want to face in the 2015 season. And it's because of games like this. I told you it's going to be ugly. It's going to be very, very slow. And the score is not going to get very high. And the Panthers showed exactly that. They get it done 20-9. Let's talk about the Jaguars quickly. Too many turnovers. And if you're the Jaguars and you're looking for improvement, you can't do what you did in this game. Too many turnovers, 2 interceptions by Blake Bortles. I'll talk about him a little bit later on. The fumble by Allen Hurns in the red zone took points off the scoreboard. You can't have those things happen. And you can't have your field goal kicker, your brand new field goal kicker, miss an extra point. Okay? Gotta have those. You're not good enough to even have a point missing off that scoreboard that's supposed to be there. Need him to make that. O-line was solid. Now, I really was praising this O-line in the preseason. They looked damn good. They were giving Blake time to survey the field, 5 receivers. They did not do that late in the ball game. They did it early. They didn't do that late in the ball game, and I thought it really hurt Blake Bortles and this offense as they started to allow the Panthers to pin their ears back and get after Blake Bortles. Drop balls. I can't state this enough. Both teams had trouble catching the football in this game. I'm really disappointed in Allen Robinson. I've been tooting his horn and trying to get him to understand that he needs to be the guy at the wide receiver position for this team. He doesn't want to be that guy. Allen Hurns is too inconsistent. He'll make a great catch and then drop an easy one. And so you can't rely on him. I'm very disappointed in Rashad Green because the one thing I said about Rashad Green, might not be the fastest, might not be the biggest guy, but he's going to catch the damn football if you throw it to him. Well, he dropped the football and he ended up getting his clock clean. Blake set him up. He ended up having to leave the game. So there's just a lot of things there that you need to clean up at the wide receiver position. And I thought it was an okay debut for TJ Yeldon. He didn't do anything great, but I thought he looked solid, gives you some promise for the future. But this offense was missing something. I'm tell you what, it was missing. It was very thirsty. They needed juice, is what they needed. You went out in the offseason, you went and got this guy, huge offseason acquisition. You needed him to help out Blake Bortles. He's not here. I can't wait till he comes back because this offense would have been a lot better had Juice been in the lineup. Of course, I'm talking about Julius Thomas, your big offseason acquisition at the tight end position out of Denver. And also the defense, lastly, played good enough to win this game, but the special teams didn't. I thought Ted Ginn Jr. had too many good returns to set the Panthers up in good field position. I thought your kicker missed that kick, and that was big again. It's a difference going into halftime 10-10 versus 10-9. So, I mean, just all of those little things play on your psyche. Let me talk about Blake Bortles quickly. You can't make the same mistakes, Blake. That pick you threw to Jay Nutso looked exactly like the pick you threw to William Gay last year against the Steelers. In a similar game, score-wise to this game, a game that you're right there in, you throw the interception, puts the game out of reach. Similar results here, a game that is right there for the taking. You throw that interception, puts the game out of reach. I need you to be better than that, Blake. I need you to stop making the same mistakes you made last year. Let's move on to the next game. As the Panthers get it done 20-9, go to 1-0 on the season. Cleveland at the Jets. Cleveland at the Jets. Boom. Cleveland at the Jets. Josh McCown takes a shot on that opening possession. He actually looked good on that opening possession, but we all know Josh McCown is a clown. So I wasn't that upset to see him go down, but I don't like seeing guys get hurt. But I was ready to see Johnny took time get in the game, and I wanted to see what he was going to do. And I thought, besides the turnovers, okay, take the turnovers out of it, thought he looked good. Okay, I know. You can't take the turnovers. 5 turnovers for the Browns in this game? Ouch! Can't turn it over 5 times and not expect to lose the game and lose the way he did. But I thought Johnny threw some good balls. I thought he looked and scanned the field, found guys. I thought he actually used his legs a few times and got down and slid. I thought he did some good things, but he made mistakes. But what do you expect from a guy that hasn't had a lot of playing time? Limited snaps, you get mistakes. I think the more he plays, the better he gets. But I actually thought he did an okay job. Joey Snatchers got worked in this thing, and I'm gonna just chalk it up to lack of preseason work. A little bit of rust. Go ahead and knock that rust off if you are Joey Snatchers, but B. Marsh worked you, okay? He worked you like a good veteran should, and I'm not accustomed to seeing it. And anytime you're a guy like Joey Snatchers, you're licking your chops when you look in the backfield and you see the bearded one, Ryan Fitzpatrick, on the scene, like, oh yeah, I'm about to get me one today. I'm about to get me 2 today, baby. You feel confident that Ryan's gonna give me an opportunity to get one, okay? Maybe even two, two even. And B. Marsh was just working me, man. And I'm not used to seeing it, so I'm hoping that was just a little bit of rust, not playing in the preseason, working your way back into things. But if the defense in Cleveland is gonna play like this, it's gonna be a long season in Cleveland. I don't give a damn what the offense does. This team is supposed to be led by the defense. If the defense is gonna look like this, it's gonna be a really long season in Cleveland. Look at the Jets and their side of things in this ball game. Ryan Fitzpatrick showed exactly why he's been in the league so long. And I make fun of Ryan Fitzpatrick all the time, but he amazes me with some of the things he can do. He makes some throws that few quarterbacks in this league can make. And for as much as we tease him and he shares all the time, the guy is a special talent at the quarterback position. Now, is he a really good quarterback? No. But is he talented? You betcha. That's why he's been on so many teams and started so many games in this league. And he showed you that throw to Decker in the end zone. My goodness. Some of those throws to B. Marsh, are you kidding me? But in that same breath, that throw that he threw to Tashawn Gibson, who plays for the Browns, come on, what are you doing, man? You can't throw that in the zone coverage like that. That was too easy. That was like taking candy from a baby. Luckily enough, B. Marsh was able to steal the football away from him. But I say all of that to say this. Ryan Fitzpatrick is going, if the defense plays the way they played and he plays like he played for the majority of this game, you're going to have a chance to win a lot of games this season until Geno Smith comes back. And I don't even know if Geno's going to be the guy when he does come back. We'll see. You're going to lose Crow for the season. That's going to hurt. Okay? Anytime it's a non-contact injury, you know a guy's going down and he's going to be down for a while. They're talking possibly AC and MC gone for the season. And so we'll see what happens with that situation. But I'm going to tell you what, Marcus Williams stepped up and played a hell of a ball game. He was balling! And the damn near pick six, went out to the 1 yard line. He was around the ball the entire day. That guy looks like a ball player, folks. And they might have a guy that can step in. And you know, that's what your head coach wants to do. He wants to play man-to-man coverage on the outsides, come after teams with that blitz, and really create havoc. He did it in this game. Let's see if he'll be able to continue to do that throughout the season. I love this defense. I love Chris Ivory. I've talked about that ad nauseum over the last year or two. Chris Ivory, to me, is one of the most underrated backs. He runs extremely physical. He's an extremely violent runner. A lot of yards after contact. Love the way he approaches the game of football. And this defense, what more can I say? They got it done in a major way against a team that they needed to beat at home in the Cleveland Browns. 31-10 Jets go to 1-0 on the season. Packers and Bears, oh my, as the rivalry renews at Soldier Field. Packers come into the game lacking some of their targets. You got Jordy down for the season. Air Jordy down for the season. Randall Cobb not at 100%, but he was going to give it a go. But the story of the game for the Packers, James Jones. Who knew? Did you know? I didn't know. Did you know that James Jones was going to come back and play like he never left? Unbelievable. I don't think the Bears were looking forward to that. I don't think they were expecting that. James Jones snuck him. He snuck him, and he snuck him in a major way. That was big for the Packers in this game. Defense was dominated, though. I was actually quite disappointed in how the Packers looked on the defensive side of football. Had the Bears realized what they had in Matt Forte and the kind of day he was having and kept feeding him the football, I don't know if this outcome isn't different and the Packers don't fall to the Bears on the opening weekend of the season. But luckily enough for them, they outsmarted themselves, decided that Jay Cutler's right arm was better than Matt Forte's legs. They ended up losing the football game, but your defense looks very sketchy. I thought Cutler had some success throwing the football, and they definitely had success on the ground. Losing Sam Barrington for the season, possibly for the season, that's a damaging blow, and you saw the effects of that in this game right here. Packers maximized limited opportunities on offense. I mean, the Bears really controlled the clock in this game. But the Packers had about 7 possessions total in this game, 6, 7 possessions. But they made the most of those possessions. Bears weren't able to, and that's the difference in this game. If you look at it, Aaron Rodgers didn't have one of those A-Rod type games. He didn't throw for 300 and some odd yards and 4 touchdowns. This was a 196-yard performance for A-Rod in this game, something of that nature. He didn't go out and shred him. He didn't have the ball enough to do so. But when they did have the football and he had opportunities, He took advantage of it, and that's why they were able to be victorious, 31-23. Let's talk about the Bears, though. Matt Forte looked awesome in this game. Awesome. And I heard people talking about this guy potentially not being able to get it done this year. Au contraire, my friends. Matt Forte looked like the man in this game. Bears should have leaned on him a little bit more. I really feel like had they leaned on him more, they would have been able to win this football game. Alshon Jeffrey never, ever trust a man with 2 first names. He looked damn good in limited snaps in this game. Cutler wasn't all bad, but as usual, he can't beat the Packers. He made that fatal mistake late to Clay Matthews for the interception and ultimately wrapped this game up in a nice, pretty box and put a bow on top for the Packers. Defense didn't do enough in this game, and that's simple. To me, the Bears had the blueprint. Run the football, keep the ball out of A-Rod and the Packers offense's hands, and give our team a chance. And when the Packers did get the football, the Bears needed to stop them, and they didn't do it on the defensive side of the football. Hence, they lose the football game. You move on to the next game. Seahawks at the Rams, and this was probably the best game of the day. And let's start with the Seahawks. Tyler Lockett, all business. Okay, punt return for a touchdown. Also looked damn good as a receiver, and he looked good all preseason as a receiver, so that was expected. But that punt return early in the ball game really set the tone, I thought, for what was to come in the football game, and I thought he had a great debut as a Seattle Seahawk. O-line struggled, especially the interior of the line. You get rid of Max Unger, you bring in other guys, and you feel like we're going to be fine. Max is always hurt anyway. We've seen life without Max, but it was not pretty. And I do want to stress, he played the St. Louis Rams, okay? Nobody else is putting 4 first-rounders on the defensive line in front of you every week, okay? So let me caution everyone out there, because you hear Russell Wilson was sacked 6 times. That's what the Rams do, okay? They bag cornerbacks. That's what they do. And if you ask Russell Wilson, the one team he doesn't want to face, he'll tell you without hesitation, St. Louis Rams. And they got after him in this game, and I thought the interior of that line, Brockers and Aaron Donald, never, ever trust a man with 2 first names. I thought they got after it, and they really caused a lot of headaches for this Seattle Seahawks football team. The defense was missing something. I don't know what it was. Of course I know what it was. You were missing goddamn Cam Chancellor, okay? I like Deion Bailey. No, I don't, okay? I don't love Deion Bailey. I don't even know Deion Bailey, all right? But I bet you all you Seahawks fans, you didn't know him before, you know him now. If he fell down on the last goddamn snap of regulation for the Rams on the offensive side of football with Lance Kendricks getting free into the end zone to tie the damn ball game up. This team looked lost on defense all game long. And I hate to chalk it up to one man, but damn it, he's the tone setter for that defense. And you didn't have him, and you could tell the difference right away. It took too long for me. It took too long for Jimmy Graham to get integrated in this game. I thought second half he was lights out, okay? That's the guy that I want to see playing for this team moving forward. But the first half was like, where the hell is Jimmy Graham at? I need to see Jimmy getting involved. You don't trade away first rounders for guys that don't have an impact. Like I said, second half, different Jimmy Graham. That's the one I want to see moving forward. Let's go to the Rams, talk about them. This defense is fun to watch, man. My goodness. The defensive line, linebackers flying around, secondary, Tremaine Johnson. Did you see that pick? Like, give me that, man. That's mine. You don't want it, let me have it. I mean, that was a beautiful pick. I was upset that he left the game with a concussion because I wanted to see more Tremaine Johnson. The guy's a monster. But, that being said, 6 sacks. Come on, give me a break. Russell Wilson usually running around. You can't catch him. He's like a little jitterbug. Rams said, we ain't having none of that. They sent corner blitzes. Guys were getting free. It was fun to watch. These guys are I told you, if you've been listening to the pod, and shameless plug again, check me out on iTunes, on Stitcher, on the website, in the Lab Room podcast. I told you, the Rams are the #1 team you don't want to face in 2015. And that's why, right there. That defense is ferocious. Lights out, you saw it in this game. Benny Cunningham was stellar, and I told y'all during the draft, I was like, you don't really need to draft a running back, do you? I said this before you made the pick, because I didn't think you were going to draft a back. I said, I like Benny Cunningham. Don't you like what Trey Mason did? Benny Cunningham was a one-man wrecking crew at the running back position in this game. I don't like Isaiah Peed, okay? And I don't expect Isaiah Peed to have to play very often when your other guys come back and they're healthy, but Benny Cunningham, how many times did he catch the football out of the backfield on 3rd and long and pick up first down? I mean, there was one pickup, like a 3rd and 18, he gets like 20. There's another 3rd and 11, he gets 13. Benny Cunningham was a difference maker in this ball game. I love Benny Cunningham, man. And he showed it. Why the Rams are very high on him in this football game. Young O-line held up, and I thought they were going to have some serious issues in this game, but they didn't. They held up against that Seattle Seahawks front. I thought they gave Nicholas time to throw the football, and Nicholas Foles was outstanding in this game. I don't know if he's gonna do that every week, okay? Don't get used to Nicholas Foles lighting it up like this. But damn it, he was special in this game. That throw in overtime to Stedman Bailey, you can't do it much better than that, guys. You can't do it much better. I'm talking about, that was some feathery soft, I'm talking drugstore cotton soft, feathery soft touch. Right in the old bread basket, man. He took a shot, but he caught that football, and that was on Dick Sherman, guys. Nicholas Foles was feeling it, man. He was feeling it. Finally, I think your offensive coordinator, your new offensive coordinator, figured out how to use Tavon Austin. I just felt like there was a different synergy between he and the offensive signal caller, and I just felt like Tavon Austin is a special athlete, and you gotta have a game plan for him. You can't just go wing. All right, Tavon, go out there. We're gonna throw you the football. You gotta have a special game plan, and it looked like it. That reverse the field, in motion, back across the field, reverse field, back up the field for a touchdown. That was gorgeous. Okay, the punt return. Tavon Austin is a special athlete, and you gotta get the ball in his hands. They did that in this game. I think the Rams are on the right track. Look, I don't want to blow this out. It's family business. Okay, you know how it goes. You know those boys. They like your first cousins. You know them. That's family business. I'm not gonna blow that out of proportion, but that's a big win at home for the St. Louis Rams, 34-31 in overtime. And let me say this, I don't have time to do this right, but Pete Carroll kicking that onside kick, that was something else. I could sit here and talk for 20 minutes about that, but I don't have time. Let's go on to the Cardinals hosting the New Orleans Saints. 31-19, Saints fall on the road to the Cardinals. Let's talk about this Saints football team for a second. This is a young, very young defense, boy. But I'm gonna tell you what, with some time to grow, if Sean Payton can just stay out of Rob Ryan's face long enough so he can coach this defense, they got some ball players. Some ball players on this defense. They just young, wet behind the ears, breath smelling like Similac. They're young, boy, but when they start to get it, they got some stuff out there in New Orleans. You're talking about Damian Swan, you're talking about Bro, you're talking about Kikaha, and you're talking about Stephon Anthony. It's a lot of young boys on that defense, but when they get it, and they got it, they're gonna be good. I love Kyrie Robinson, man. He took Chris Ivory's spot on that team a couple years ago, and last year I was like, man, get the ball to Kyrie, get the ball to Kyrie. And it was like, hold on, we still got some other guys on the roster. Kyrie will get his turn. I'm telling you, get the ball to Kyrie now. I know you got Ingram, and I like what he does. Kyrie Robinson is different. He's something else. The dude is tough. He runs like his hair is on fire on every single snap. He's running like somebody said, if you don't run as hard as you can run, I'm gonna take the food off your table right now. That's how he run the football. You gotta get it to him some more. The dude is a football player, man. I don't know what else to say to you. Brandon Coleman is unreliable. Can I not state that enough? Sure, he scored a little touchdown and that was cute. How many times he dropped the ball in this game? 2, 3? Stop it already, man. I'd rather see you throw the football to Willie Snead. Stop forcing the ball to, I know you want another big body guy to take. He's not what you think he is. Stop it. I know he's an athlete. He's big. He looks the part. But those hands are questionable, man. Stop it. Stop it already. Offense moved the ball in this game. They did. They went 20-20. Drew Brees threw for damn near 400 yards in this game. The problem was the red zone. You don't have Jimmy Graham. He's a man. You don't have him anymore. You lost that luxury when you traded him away, and you're hoping a guy like Brandon Coleman steps up. He's not that guy, okay? I need to see more Josh Hill. Somebody, man. Y'all gotta do something in the red zone. That was pathetic. How many times you gonna throw the ball to the running backs? Well, I mean, seriously, what are we doing here, guys? I mean, it was check down city to these backs. You gotta come better than that, man. Even though it was effective in this game, I mean, how many times you gonna run screens? I mean, really, what are we doing here? And Brandon Cooks was really a non-factor in this. I'm gonna chalk that up to Pat Peter. Okay, I'm gonna give Pat Pete some credit there. Chalk that up to him, but man. And last but not least, that 4th and 6 at the end of the game, at your own, you gotta go for that. You gotta go for that. I mean, with the way the game was going, I understand you felt like maybe we can get a stop, get the football back. You gotta go for that, man. You don't get it, so what, okay? But if you don't get it, and look what happened, they end up scoring a touchdown, game's over anyway. You gotta go for that. You got Drew Brees at quarterback, man. If you don't go for it on 4th and 6, what's wrong with you, man? I don't know, but let's go to the Cardinals on this. That defense flies around. I thought they were gonna miss Todd Bowles, and maybe ultimately they will when the season's done. But right now, they're fast, they're physical, they're aggressive. That's a scary bunch, especially when they're at home. It's a different feel when they're at the University of Arizona Stadium. Or Phoenix. I think it's University of Phoenix Stadium. It's just a different feel, man. They fly around on that football field. They're a bend but don't break defense. They gave up a bunch of yards, but when they got in the red zone, they locked it up. They locked it up, took that key, threw it away, and they didn't allow the Saints to get in the end zone. I thought the O-line really protected well. I was surprised because in that 3rd preseason game versus the Raiders, there were some issues. I thought Khalil Mack went to work on your 3rd string tackle on the right side, and I just thought you had issues. And I thought it wasn't going to get any better because you were going to be missing some guys for a period of time, but surprise, surprise, they protected Carson Palmer. I thought they opened up a couple of holes for the run game, and I thought the offensive line did a really good job in this game, and I really like your stable of backs. Both Johnsons and Andre Ellie, and he went down again, sprained his MCL, probably going to miss a few weeks, but when he's healthy, he's a difference maker. Both of those Johnsons, you saw a little bit of what both of those guys can do. And so I really like your back situation this season. Darren Fells, my goodness, he looked really good at tight end. Had a big catch and run, had a beautiful catch on a touchdown. I like the way he looked in this game, filling in for Afani Moma, who you had high hopes for. He's going to miss the season, but Darren Fells said, hey, I can do this. All right? I know you were having some high expectations for Moma. I can do this. Trust me, I can do this. I see, young fella, I see. I'm watching. Carson Palmer looked sharp in this game, man. And I didn't know what to really expect. Again, after watching in the preseason, I wasn't really blown away. I just thought he was okay. He looked outstanding in this game. He threw some bullets, some darts, and I thought he was on in this game, and he really gave his receivers a chance to win some matchups and create some catches with some runs afterwards. So it just was all good in Arizona on this day from Carson Palmer. And too many penalties in this game, and I think your head coach Bruce Arians really alluded to that in the press conference. Look, you got to tighten up. You can't have too many men on the field, which gives the Saints back to football when they were going to punt, and they end up scoring a touchdown on that possession, their only touchdown of the game, if I'm not mistaken. You have got to be much more disciplined on the football field. Too many penalties for this Arizona Cardinals football team. You go to the next game, but the Cardinals do get it done 31-19. In their season home opener.
There's plenty more where that came from. While you're here, subscribe to the channel. If you want more Louie T, be sure to follow me on Twitter @InTheLabRoom, or you can like the Facebook page @InTheLabRoom. That's In the Lab Room on Facebook and @InTheLabRoom on Twitter. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so.